Now let's create another get mapping by taking the username as a query parameter. So for that, public string welcome user, I'm giving a new method name and I'm going to take username, and as part of it I will be returning, I'm using string.format, and here I'll be passing the username, and the message would be now, as we discussed, we need to annotate with get mapping. I've annotated with get mapping. Now we need to capture the username. We need to annotate the argument for this method with request param. Let's look at the request param. Request param has the value. We are going to give the default name for it, or we can provide directly name is equals to, and it has the required flag, and by default it is set true. It's expecting this query parameter needs to be set all the time. So let's go with the default ones. So I'm giving username. Now we need to provide a different route, different path for this mapping. So I'm going to give value is equals to, and I'm saying user. And if you observe the get mapping annotation, the value takes an array. So that means we can provide the aliases for the same route. So for now, let's save all the files and check the server has started successfully or not. The server has started successfully. Now let's go to the Postman. Let's run the old API. Yes, it's working as expected. Let's duplicate the same and provide a different path, which is a user, and send the request. Remember, here we are not setting the request parameter. We got an error saying that it's a bad request, and it says that request parameter username for this method is not present. So let's add it is equals to Ranga. Let's send this time, and this time we got the status as 200 and we got the response. So this is how we are going to capture the request parameters from the user. If you want to set the default properties, you can set the default property using the default. When you set the default value, then it is no longer required. So when you set the default value, then it will become required as false. Let's check the same. So I'm giving value as username, and the default value is equals to Ranga, and save the file, and the DevTools has restarted the project. Live reload happened. Let's check with the username working as expected. Remove the username. Now we are not passing any of the request parameters, and still we got the response, and the username has been taken from the default value that we have configured as part of the request parameter. Next, we will be looking at the path parameter.